All right, everybody. Hello. We are about to go live with another session of talking to people who are leaders in their communities and influencers. Today, we will have Culture of Life, which is a clothing brand with us. We're going to be hosting Culture of Life here on this Instagram Live. I think I see the request here. 3 seconds and we'll get to it. Here we go, connecting. Awesome.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. All right, guys. So this is Vittoria. She is one of the workers and I believe founders of Culture of Life, which is a clothing brand which focuses on pro-life as a movement and as a way of life. So Vittoria, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. We're really excited. We love partnering with new people who are just as passionate about the pro-life movement as we are, especially people who are working to make a difference, whether it be in government, in our culture, in our society. Yeah, we're just happy to be here.
Heck yeah, that is awesome. I mean, that's the way to do it, especially now with modern technology. We have the ability to reach people around the country and around the globe. And then specifically in this time frame of COVID-19, we are all locked in. We all have access to the internet, and that's how we pass the time. So what better way to have some conversations, also to be sharing some of your beliefs. So awesome. I would like to ask you to do a little bit of a background. Tell us how you guys got started. I know you and I had spoken privately about this. Can you share that with the people who are going to be watching live? And then I'll share this as probably an IGTV thing that will just be permanently on the page. So tell us a little bit about how you got started and what you guys do together.
Yeah, so Culture of Life 1972, we launched in January 2019. And basically the story behind that is I come from a family, I have of 3 sisters, and then, my mom, and we have a lot of aunts and uncles and girl cousins. And basically, we just love to shop. We love going on big girl trips, shopping weekends, things like that. And so it was a huge problem for us when we found out that over 60 fashion brands give back proudly to Planned Parenthood. In 2017 at New York Fashion Week, a lot of brands were actually giving out pins, like bright pink pins that say, "I stand with Planned Parenthood." And so for us, it was a huge problem to be purchasing clothing or, basically anything, but specifically clothing that gives back to Planned Parenthood. It goes against everything that we stand for. Plus, we're giving so much of our time and energy and money into the pro-life movement that it was counterproductive for us to be buying clothes when we not know that a portion of our money is going back to
you're funding the opposition.
Exactly. And so, my sisters and I said to our mom, you're going to have to start sewing because there's no way we're going to be buying any of these clothes. And that was not a good idea. My mother cannot sew. None of us can sew. We break sewing machines. It's bad. So we did a little bit of research because we wanted to see, what is out there. Are there any brands that give back to the pro-life movement? There's tons of organizations that sell, graphic t-shirts. I know Live Action, Students for Life. Those things are great and amazing, but not everybody wants to wear "I am the pro-life generation" on their t-shirt every single day of their lives. Not everybody feels comfortable doing that at all. So we decided as a family that we were going to start our own fashion brand that is specifically for giving back to the pro-life movement. We decided on the name Culture of Life 1972 because, for multiple reasons. Number one, because we want to use fashion as a mechanism to change hearts and minds about abortion. And the way that happens is, for example, if I'm out, wearing one of our dresses, somebody might say to me, "Oh my gosh, Vittoria, I love your dress. It's so cute. Where did you get it?" And I have the opportunity to say, "I got it from this fashion brand called Culture of Life 1972. The follow-up question every single time I've had this conversation is, what does that mean? I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
And then you have the opportunity to say, well, Culture of Life 1972 is a fashion brand that believes all life is valuable. You know, they believe that all life is equal, and, you know, that all life is made, you know, with a purpose.
Mm.
And they chose the year 1972 to represent the brand because it represents the last year that the United States was a culture of life. Because then in 1973, the
Supreme Court ruling
holds that the tiniest people don't have that right to life.
Of course.
And since then, over 60 million babies have been denied their right to life. And every single time I've had that conversation, it doesn't matter if the person, you know, is openly pro-life, pro-choice, or somewhere in between, they say to me, well, I didn't realize it was 60 million babies, and you're talking about abortion, right? And it's a very non-confrontational way to be having the conversations that we need to have in order to change hearts and minds about abortion. Because when you walk around with your shirt saying, you know, I am pro-life,
it's an argument. It's an argument starter more than a conversation starter, which sometimes arguments are okay, but I think the conversations are probably long-term more valuable, right?
Right. It like plants seeds in their heart of, you know, you're able to share the facts about abortion, the atrocities of abortion, the fact that over 60 million of, you know, our peers have been killed unjustly. You have opportunity to share information that they wouldn't ordinarily know, because ordinarily they wouldn't put in the time and effort into having those conversations.
And a relevant piece of that data, I think, that is increasingly important today amidst some of the racial tensions that we see, is that the Black community has been targeted, intentionally targeted by abortion at the founding of Planned Parenthood and of abortion as a movement. And the Black community has lost upwards of 40% of their population. So that means today we've got about 13% Black population in the US. It should be somewhere in the mid 20 percentile. However, it is not that, because we have killed the other 40% of Black individuals. This was implemented as Black genocide by the founder of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger. So I guess, do you have anything you'd like to add on to that? I'm taking some notes here. So you talked a little bit about Planned Parenthood. I think the important question to ask and to enable people to answer is, okay, why don't you like Planned Parenthood? What's wrong with it? I guess my answer would be Black genocide and Margaret Sanger is a good place to start. What would you add on to that?
Absolutely. That's absolutely a good place to start. And I think that's something that a lot of people, you know, don't know about Planned Parenthood. A lot of people are very misinformed about what Planned Parenthood does. A lot of people just think it's, you know, women's health care, and, you know, to defund Planned Parenthood or to stop supporting Planned Parenthood is, you know, an attack on women's health care, where in reality, Planned Parenthood stands for, and their main goal is abortion. And when you consider the fact that right now in our current political climate, people are arguing, you know, Black Lives Matter, people of color, their lives matter. That is something that our company stands for wholeheartedly. It's one of our goals as a company to sort of change the mentality of our society right now. You know, we have so many people who, in our world and in America, who are just confused about the purpose of life, are confused. They think that, you know, some life is not equal to other life, that, you know, maybe people who are born with disabilities are not equal to those of us who are fortunate enough to, you know, be able-bodied. And it's part of our mission at COL 1972 to spread the message that all life is equal. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter whether you're disabled or not. We are here to say, and we are here to change our culture and change the idea, and, you know, share, especially with people of, you know, my generation, Gen Z, millennials, are especially confused about this. You know, share with them that all life is valuable and all life is equal. And if, you know, buying a t-shirt or buying a dress or buying a baseball hat is a way to change people's minds, and that's what we're going to do.
I love it. I love it. And I also really appreciate the approach of you saying, look, we are, as opposed to being like an overtly activist brand, we are just doing what some of these other people on the other side of the aisle do, which is create nice clothes and let you know that our funding is going towards, for you, it's protecting life. For them, it is taking life. Absolutely. So you've got, you know, let's just say Macy's. I don't know what Macy's gives my disclaimer is, I don't know what they give their money towards. But as an arbitrary example, if Macy's gives to Planned Parenthood, they're not advertising for Planned Parenthood on their t-shirts. but their money might go towards that. That's what you guys are doing. You're saying, look, we don't need to hit you over the head with a t-shirt that says vote pro-life. We'll just make some nice dresses, some nice jeans, and we'll sell them. And that is what your money is going towards, though. I love that approach. And I think that that's something that a lot of people can learn from, is that you don't always have to follow the crowd in doing something the way that everyone else has done it. You can find your own way, and you can build those relationships. Now, something I'd like to add on to, I just took a note as you were talking about Planned Parenthood, focusing on abortion. We hear the argument all the time, I'm sure, as people who are either center or right wing. You hear the argument from the left wing that, well, Planned Parenthood actually offers a lot of medical needs to women, and that they're not all about abortion. Well, actually, if you look up their public expenditures, their spending, you will see that in recent years, every other element of their medical treatment has been cut in funding, and abortion has raised in funding. So they are giving more attention, increasing time and money towards abortion, and decreasing time and money to everything else that they claim to care about. So, and the argument doesn't hold up anyway, because I'd say, look, if you were part of an organization that was killing old people, and you said, well, but they also give mammograms to people, well, I'm still not going to support them because they kill old people in their spare time. Even if they do that once every month, that's still part of their platform. I can't support that. I want to encourage everybody, go ahead, shoot messages out here to Vittoria, to myself, in the thread here. I saw a few, and I want to read over them really quickly before they stack up too much. So one that I thought was really good. Let's see. And our future election, we need people who vote pro-life. I agree. Well said, Laura. Yes. And then I saw, tell people about local pregnancy centers. This is a great point. I've worked with several local pregnancy centers in the Pittsburgh region as the Republican nominee for PA 18. Shameless plug right there. And yeah, so there are a lot of local pregnancy centers who protect women's health, who educate families on a path forward, who even the pregnancy center I worked with directly educated people on adoption and gave them options for religious adoption, for state-funded adoption, different ways forward. So Vittoria, what would you add on to that? And then I see one other comment here that we'll get to once you're done.
Yeah, so my family has, been in the pro-life movement my entire life, and as part of that, we're going to be very proactive in what we do in supporting the pro-life movement. We don't just, sit back and, give our money, which is great, that's fine, but we as a family decided that we want to be very proactive in what we do, using our time and resources to benefit the pro-life movement. And so we have partnered with many of our local pregnancy shelters and women's crisis shelters. And I want to say that something that we do at COL 1972 is we give back 100% of our profits to the pro-life movement. And so what that means is we're going to give back our profits wherever there's a need in the pro-life movement. And oftentimes that is local pregnancy shelters, because the big national organizations have big donors that are giving them funds. Whereas, your small local women's shelter might not necessarily have the funding they need, or maybe they need donations. And that's what we strive to do, is to find where there is a need in the pro-life movement and give back to that. So we have partnered with women's crisis pregnancy shelters all across the country. We've done a lot in Pennsylvania because COL 1972, we're from Pennsylvania. We're based out of Philly. Nice. We have done a lot of work in Pennsylvania, but we might have somebody call us and say, I work for a pregnancy shelter in Arizona, and we're raising funds to put a new roof on our building. Would you guys be able to donate to us? And we'll send, the month of April's profits over there. So if any of you who are watching work with pregnancy shelters or work in the pro-life movement and you want to get more involved with COL 1972, you guys can shoot us a DM at COL 1972 official. That's our handle on Instagram. We'd love to work with you guys. Let us know. We've done a lot of things in the past where places will be doing, what is the word I'm looking for? They'll do where they live auction type things. Or
yeah.
We'll donate gift cards, or we'll donate different products to their event, and then they'll auction it off to raise money. So if you want to if you want to partner with us in that way, we'd love to do that as well.
Nice. And you've got a shout out here. We attended a pro-life gala where COL donated a live auction item and everyone loved it. Heck yeah. That's what I love to hear. Let's see. Laura said something like, that is so awesome. All right. She's supporting you guys. She's an advocate for their local center. Yeah, look, I mean, the local centers are awesome. And something I would encourage people to do is look into your local centers. Look into volunteering for them. Most of them will accept your time if you're able to volunteer. And if you are a skeptic, because there is a narrative out there that pregnancy centers are unprofessional, that they're not manned by real medical staff, that they don't believe in actual medical science, that is not true by the pregnancy centers I've been involved in. They are manned by trained nurses and doctors. And I would encourage you, though, if that is your position right now, go ahead and contact a local pregnancy center, talk to them, and maybe even ask for a tour. I asked for a tour of one in downtown Pittsburgh. They're very welcoming. They let me see how they do what they do, and they let me see the professionalism with which they take care of the community. So I would, if you have questions, ask. Most of these people are doing what they do because they love people, because they love their fellow Americans and their fellow humans. So that's fine if you have questions, if you have doubts. Look into it. We've got a whole bunch of other comments here going on. I've got some of my own things I want to talk about, but these people are popping off, which I love. Let's see. We love that Abby Johnson is your global ambassador. I didn't know that. Is she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is. So this was honestly like a huge God thing. April 2019, Abby Johnson had posted on her Instagram, if somebody would start a pro-life fashion brand, I would 100% support you guys. Well, I saw that and I was like, we've already done it. Like, we would love to work with you. Like, and so she was immediately receptive to what we had to say to her, because she also found, she found that, there's tons of pro-life t-shirts, but she couldn't wear that to her speaking engagements, or she couldn't wear that to her, business meetings. She couldn't wear that. She didn't want to wear, pro-life t-shirts every single day of the week. She wanted something different. She wanted, things that are actually fashionable, things that are comfortable, things that she can wear every single day of the week and feel beautiful and feel cute wearing. And there was nothing like that gave back to the pro-life movement until our company was launched in January 2019. So, we've had so much fun working with a ton of different pro-life activists. Abby Johnson was our first global ambassador. She still is our global ambassador. We've added this year Alex Clark, who Politics.
Politics, yeah.
USA. Yep. She joined our global ambassador team just last month in beginning of June, and she's been awesome. We love, uniting the pro-life movement through fashion. It's not something that you would expect. Yeah. It's, not what you would think would be a traditional way of uniting people, but it's been a lot of fun to see different pro-life people from all different parts of the country, even all different parts of the world, who, are being united through fashion.
Yes, I love it. And because it's a part of everyday life that is easy to embrace, because it's what we all need anyway. Everyone likes to look good. So it's a way to get these conversations started, a way to form these relationships. Stained Emotions. My brother Gerard from the Air Force. This is I won't say your last name because I want to keep a little security and privacy here. But G, it is good to see you. He says this is very educational. A lot of good information. Thank you guys. Thank you, brother. Yeah, look, I mean, this stuff matters. This is, in my opinion, this is the dark spot on American history, comparable only to American slavery. And ironically, I would say American slavery and American abortion have both been implemented specifically to target minority communities. So they targeted other people. Most people don't know there were some white slaves. Whites were abused, but just like abortion, the people who were most mass targeted were minority communities. And that's exactly what we see happening today still, like I was saying, with 40% of the Black American population being killed off. It's terrible, and it's attempted genocide is exactly how it should be categorized. Let's see. Pro-Life Rose says she loves volunteering. Volunteering for pregnancy centers is her favorite part of pro-life activism. That's awesome. That's putting your work and your effort where your mouth is, and I love that. So science doesn't lie. Unborn children are human individuals. Okay, so this is actually a really good place to start a conversation. So I am one of the reasons that I am pro-life is that I am pro-medical science. I believe that as we had ultrasounds come into mainstream use in the last several decades, they show us how developed a baby is. And then we also had, after the ultrasounds, we had the ability to then study DNA to learn that the first time that new DNA is created for a human being is at conception. So again, I think that many times the pro-life movement and the corresponding religious beliefs that tend to go along with it, they're called anti-science. Well, I would actually say that being pro-abortion is anti-science, because you are then denying that unique DNA is an indicator of a human. You're denying that at 5 weeks, a heartbeat is an indicator of a human. At 6 to 7 weeks, the ability to feel pain, to dream, to think, to recognize music and the thoughts or in the words of the speech of your mother and father. These are things that develop very early on, and yet we see abortion being pushed back and back. First trimester, second trimester, third trimester, and now something that I love to talk about simply because it shows how far this movement has gone. We get to abortion has led us to now discussing, as a leader from, I believe, Virginia did, infanticide, to discussing, it's not even called abortion anymore because it's not in the womb. When an infant is born, this Virginia, I believe it was governor, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Governor Northam.
Northam, there it is, Ralph, right? Ralph Northam.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we will have a conversation with the mother after making the infant, the delivered infant, comfortable. We'll have a conversation, and in context, what he's talking about is whether or not to keep the child alive. That is insane. That is how far our leaders have openly gone in public. And then that's to say nothing about the fact that we know also that baby body parts are bidded on and bought. We have video evidence and multiple legal cases which proves this. So I don't know if you want to say anything on top of any of those points.
Yeah, I mean, my father's a doctor. My mother was an occupational therapist. We have a lot of people in the medical field. And even not being in the medical field, it's very, very hard to deny fact, hard to deny the science that a baby in the womb is alive from the moment of conception. And I've always, it's always been interesting to me at the hypocrisy of the left. They always claim, that they're the scientifically backed party. They claim that, conservatives and specifically the pro-life movement is only supported by their religious beliefs. And,
yes,
they love to claim that if you took away religion from the pro-life movement, that there would be no support for being pro-life. But, science is really on our side here.
It is. It is.
You really can't deny that. I mean, in this current political climate, it's easy to see how people are denying facts and easy to see how people are denying science. However, that's part of what we at COL 1972 are here to do, is to use fashion to share these facts and share these, statistics and science-based facts with people in a very non-confrontational way.
Awesome. And now, so speaking of that non-confrontational approach and how you guys have structured yourselves as an organization, so you mentioned that people could get involved with you. I'm guessing local pro-life groups, local maybe youth groups and things that might want to throw fundraisers could probably contact you and purchase and resell your merchandise. Is that correct?
Yes. So we have a couple different ways people can get involved, and a couple of different ways we've gone about helping different organizations. One of the ways is if you are someone who is trying to build a platform, or if you are somebody who, trying to build specifically a pro-life platform, but if you're somebody who runs a nonprofit, one of the ways that we work with different people is through our affiliate program. And what that means is you can sign up to be essentially an influencer for our fashion brand. And if you sign up, it's so easy. If you just go to our website, it comes right up, col1972.com. That's our website. You can sign up there. All we need is your name, your email address, and you can become a brand representative, and you will get a discount code that is specific for you, and it will give people who purchase using your code 10% off, plus it will give you 10% back of everything that you sell. So we have individuals who do that, and we also have organizations that do that. So some local pregnancy shelters have done things where they'll sign up, and then they will get a code, and everything that they sell, they get 10% back on things that have purchases that have been made using their code. That's one way you guys can get involved. Another way is, I said this before, but if you run a nonprofit and if you need something for an event, if you need something for an auction, send us an email or send us a DM, and we will be happy to send you a gift card or some merch, and you guys can auction that off. Or if you have some sort of need, if you're a local pregnancy shelter, if you have a need, for example, maybe you are, what we've done in the past is sometimes local pregnancy shelters will reach out to us and say, oh, we need to put a new roof on our building and we don't have funding. Or, oh, we're trying to set up, we're trying to hire more people and we're going to need some funding, whatever. We'll be happy to make a donation because, again, 100% of all of our profits go back to the pro-life movement. Sometimes that means we sponsor the March for Life. We were able to do that for 2020 March for Life. We were able to sponsor the March for Life. We also give back to Abby Johnson's organization, and then there were none. But our favorite thing to give back to is just the local pregnancy shelters, because we believe that the way that you're going to best change hearts and minds about abortion is by going through the culture and by, attacking the community. There's definitely times where people have been changed, their hearts and their minds have been changed about abortion by, seeing the news about the March for Life.
A video or
videos or whatever, and social media posts like that always helps. That I'm not saying that doesn't work. It absolutely does. But it doesn't really matter what the law says about abortion. If there are no people who are getting abortions, if there are no people who are willing to perform abortions, then it doesn't matter what the law says, because everyone's against it, and they're going to support life regardless of what the law says.
Because of their personal conviction. And because they've built a relationship with someone, the boots on the ground, who volunteered and educated them and cared for them. And I agree. I think, doing things, sharing things online, sharing, PragerU videos or something like that, that's awesome. They do great work, but you can't replace person-to-person interaction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we're striving to do with our fashion brand is, whether it's people or if you're just sitting in the doctor's office and people say that they love your outfit, you have the opportunity to share the pro-life message by explaining the mission behind our brand in very non-confrontational way, in very short, concise language that opens conversation instead of shutting it down. Because this is such a divisive issue, and people, a lot of people believe that the pro-choice movement is glamorous. They believe that abortion is glamorous. They believe that abortion is empowering for women.
Yes,
for
freeing,
families, and for communities. When in reality, it's the total opposite. The pro-life movement is actually the one that is empowering. The pro-life movement is the one that says you can be a mother and have a child. You can be you can get married even though and have your child, and even if you're not married, you can have that baby and still be successful in life. You don't have to abort your child to be successful. And the pro-life movement is really the one that used to be considered very wholesome and glamorous, and we at COL1972 are trying to change we're trying to change the debate. We're trying to change the perception of the pro-life movement through fashion.
And I would agree. So I think that a lot of what we see happening today in social life and politics in general is a big marketing campaign. So it's all about the words you use, the presentation, and the way that you're able to frame your argument. Because when someone uses a term like pro-choice or some other things that sound good, it makes them able to market their movement much easier, which is why I try to go out of my way to, I recognize pro-life as pro-life, and the other side I would call pro-abortion. They're not pro-choice to me because I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice for adoption. I'm pro-choice for you to have responsible sex and not to get pregnant before you're ready. I'm pro-choice for you to keep the child and to be an awesome mom or dad. I'm pro-choice for all of those choices. I'm just against murder. That's it. So I would speak. I would say, it's a big a battle of words and a battle of framing our arguments. And so I just think that's really important. I saw a few more messages come through here. Career plus children equals empowerment. I agree. I mean, yeah, look, I mean, some great people have found ways to prioritize their kids, but still do what they love. And I think that's the balance. Mm-hmm. Women and men are strong enough to do both. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what families were made to do. Now, you mentioned the March for Life. I know DC March for Life happened this year. Donald Trump was there. Unfortunately, the PA March for Life fell right amid the early stages of COVID-19, if I'm remembering. I was planning on being there. It all got canceled. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't reschedule for fall. I think they're just going to do it in 2021. Is that right?
Yeah,
that's a real bummer
that they rescheduled at all. So
yeah. So hopefully we can all, anyone who's in the PA region, maybe we can all get to do that in 5 years or whenever this all blows over. But I tend to believe that after elections, all of a sudden the world is going to seem a lot safer after the political leveraging and the politicizing of this whole thing is taken care of. But so last question for you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Are you guys ever active out near Pittsburgh, Western PA? Are you planning any visits out here? Is there anything we can do to help you in this region?
I would say as of right now, we have not, made our way out to the Pittsburgh area, but we would love to be more involved with that area. We would love to partner with some of your pregnancy shelters.
Awesome.
We would love to help you in any way with your campaign. If there's anything you need from us, we would be happy to help you. I would say that the best way for those of you to support us is to definitely go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just launched on Parler as well yesterday.
Nice.
For those of you who don't know what that is, it is a conservative, sort of like Twitter. It basically is just allows you to have your free speech without the algorithms being all messed up and without censorship. So we just launched there. Definitely go follow us there. Definitely share. And plus, the best way, of course, to support is to go shop. Because, you can get something for yourself. Plus, that your money is going back to something that you support. It's not a conflict of interest. You're going to get something that's comfortable, something that's good quality, something that's cute, something that's made in America, but also gives back to the pro-life movement.
Awesome. I mean, guys, that is awesome. I am going to be shopping around. I have a lot of sisters. Obviously, my mother, I have a lot of girls in my life I could buy for. Yep. And that's made in America is actually, that's something I didn't want to ask because, look, I recognize some people, you have to do what is most profitable. Yeah. You have to deal with international trade. That's fine, but I prefer made in America. So I'm glad that you brought that up. That's fantastic. All right, so we've got someone saying love culture of life swimsuits. I didn't know you guys made swimsuits. That's awesome.
Yeah,
wow.
We have a swimsuit collection for women. Most of our things are our biggest collection, of course, is for women. Women tend to shop the most. Women tend to be more passionately. And when I say women tend to be more passionately pro-life, I mean women tend to be the ones that are more active. With the pregnancy shelters, with attending March for Life, things like that. But we do have a men's collection. It is smaller, but it's there. We have accessories. We have jewelry. We have swimsuits. We have baseball hats. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, dresses. We have a little bit of everything. We're trying to be sort of a one-stop shop because there really is no other, conservative, pro-life alternative to any of the current fashion brands. And there are over, let me think about this, there's over 60 fashion brands that openly and proudly give back to Planned Parenthood.
Jeez.
And there may be more and you just don't know about it. But what I can guarantee to you is that when you buy something from Culture of Life 1972, your money will go back to the pro-life movement. Plus, it will allow you to have conversations that need to be had with people through fashion.
I love that. I mean, what an awesome company! What an awesome movement! I think this is the battle of our time, is to protect those among us who have no voice, who are targeted for convenience-based murder. Really, it's about living a convenient life and hurting people in the process. I don't think that's okay. I love that you guys are doing that, but also doing that while keeping in mind that many of the people who have supported abortion do so out of a place of being deceived, or out of a place of being scared and feeling alone and buying into the propaganda that they've been given. So that's, I guess, my closing thought would be, we don't need to make more enemies for ourselves, but we do need to fight against those who would abuse our populations and lie to our populations. So we need to look out for each other. All right, clothing with a conscience. Yes, that's true. That's not a bad slogan. I like that. All right, Vittoria, do you have anything else to say to the good people before we head out for the night?
Yeah, I just would like to say thank you guys for all watching. This was so much fun. We love doing, different live videos with different people. We love uniting with different pro-life people, whether they be in government, in fashion, in, Hollywood, whatever. We just are so thankful for you and all that you're doing for the pro-life movement, and all the people out there. Please go follow us at our Instagram handle is COL1972official. Also on Facebook, you guys can sign up for our newsletter on our website as well. I promise we're not annoying with our newsletter. We only send out important information such as sales, which I'm sure all of you would love to. It can never go. You never have an excuse to not shop a sale.
There you go. Yeah, guys, check out COL1972official. Is that it? That's right.
That's our handle on Instagram. Yep.
Love it. Love it. I mean, and I just saw someone said an excuse to buy more clothes. No comment on that. But hey, if you're gonna be a stereotypical girl and buy more clothes, this is the best way to do it. So so go get them. I love it. Vittoria, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
You bet. See you guys. Take it easy. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.